Hello, everybody. Welcome to This Soap. It's a show where we're gonna clean out our self-conscious, our inner thoughts, our muck and shit that's in your brain, just like you would clean up any mess in your crib. Just gonna clean up and shoot the shit. Let's talk about whatever we got on our minds. I'm pretty sure there's not a second that goes by in a day where you don't have a racing thought of some sort. And I feel like, for the most part, for me, when I'm cooking and doing dishes and stuff like that, I think that's when I'm able to really get the best purge of negative energy, negative thoughts, just random information in my head that does not support productivity or positive space, if you will. How about that? Like, I really pay attention when I'm cleaning up or cooking, like what I'm actually thinking about, and it's so weird that those are the most focused thoughts. Like, almost like you would think you would be if you was actually talking to somebody, which makes absolutely no sense. But what in this world does, What in this world does in real damn life? One thing that I've been thinking about recently is like acceptance and um, talk about grace and simply being nice to people and how that's like a lost art, if you will. But acceptance is something that is a struggle as well, because there are so many people in this world that are not living their truths because they're worried about being accepted by people who should really don't give a shit about them, honestly. I mean, I think the clearest example of that type of a scenario would be somebody that is um, gay or bisexual, and they're not living in that truth because they feel like they're not going to be accepted by, let's say, their parents or coworkers or your homies or whoever travels in your orbit. Like, I find it terrifying to actually live in a life where I can't be me, unadulterated, 100%. Like, whatever that means for you. Because I mean, I'm trying to figure out how a dude deciding that he wants to suck a dick has anything to do with what type of homie he would be, aside from him trying to maybe suck his friend's dick. But that's neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Like, I think people need to learn how to be them. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I've had this argument a couple times, and the shit got way more heated than I expected it to, talking to people about that age old question: what would you do if your son came to you and he came out as gay? And any person that says they're not going to continue to love their child just because of a sexual preference, to me, is fucking insane. Like, the fuck does that have to do with them being your kid? Like, that's just not cool. Like, to me, that's not unconditional love. If that shit has a bearing on your love for that person, or how you treat them, like literally your relationship as their parent, like, I'm calling into question the parentage, because that ain't that's not how I roll. Maybe that's just me, but whatever. I don't think so. And I was thinking too, just because there's so many celebrities that have recently come out and are now, living and thriving in their truth. Specifically, well, we don't know much about Queen Latifah in that way. I think that's going to remain a mystery, because she's just not that type of person. Like, we're not really privy to her personal life anyway. But Da Brat would be a great example, because she, lives a very public life now because of her marriage, her relationship with her wife. And, they recently had a kid, and, he just turned one, but like, she just hopped off the porch gay one day. Like, it's not like we didn't know. Like, you could tell by her body language that she was clearly repulsed by dick, but she she played that role because she felt like that's what she had to do because she had a very sanctified grandma that wouldn't go with that type of thing. So and I get that because sometimes in Black culture, respecting our elders comes before everything. So one might be unhappy for some time just to appease that person, but I don't know. That shit just sounds miserable as fuck to me because I value sex and I like it and I want to have it with who I want to have it with. I'm not trying to be out here fucking nobody. I'm not like that. Just like even talking about it right now is making me sad. Like straight up, it's just horrible. But like I think there's a lot of sadness in the world because people aren't living their fucking truth. Like that's crazy to me. Like if you personally don't want to do it, then that's you. But don't fucking judge me because what I want to do. Straight up, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's just how that's gonna go. And I encourage everybody else to do what the fuck they want to do also. And keep an open mind. Like you never know what you'll discover about yourself when you just try different shit. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to indulge in strange ass unless that's what you're trying to do. But I'm just saying, like, one thing that I learned about me is that I really like watching people hand wash dishes. Like, that's my shit. It's very relaxing to me. Like, it helps me kind of like get my thoughts in order. Like, if I'm really struggling with something, when I watch these types of videos, like something about the sound of the soap and the even looking at it, the suds and hearing the water and watching the person like organize the dishes, like that shit is just really like therapeutic for me. Like I encourage everybody to kind of explore different ASMR genres if you struggle with anxiety and you're a person who your mind races a lot and you just find yourself kind of stuck and frustrated a lot. Like maybe that's what maybe you need a way to like figure out how to organize your mind. Um, Writing and brain dumping also helps if you're a person that likes to write. If you're a visual person, like ASMR probably is definitely what you might want to look into. But yeah, I would definitely encourage that. I found a whole bunch of stuff that I never thought that I would care about. Nutrition, um, like football nutrition videos, like how the team organizes and sets up their nutrition regimen and like their culinary situation. Um, I That's my shit. Like, and a lot comes with that. Like meal prep and planning, nutritional focus because you'll have football players that require more carbs than others. Some need high protein. Um, some need to gain weight quickly, and but then also maintain it. There's lots of different like areas of focus for that particular subject. But I mean, I learned that I liked it because I was out there looking for something different, and I checked it out, and I was like, wow, this is pretty damn dope. I fuck with this. Also, since we're talking about acceptance, people need to accept the weird shit about you. So all these things that we're just talking about, exploring different horizons, trying new things, trying to work out your stresses and worries and fears in other kind of ways. Those are healthy alternatives for you to work out things that you're struggling with. Just because the person doesn't understand what works for you doesn't mean that's a bad thing for you, because it's for you. So it isn't really necessarily your responsibility to get that person to understand what works for you. Like, that's important. In every situation, you gotta do what's best for you. Always. Like, that doesn't mean be selfish, but you gotta look out for you, because if you don't, who will? You gotta advocate for yourself in every circumstance, and you gotta be your biggest cheerleader in every circumstance. Because if you don't love you, if you don't root for you, who will? Straight up. You can't expect other people to cheer you on and root for you when you don't even believe in yourself. Like, that's crazy. Think about that shit for a minute. All right. Let's rinse. Motherfucking Bill, what's cracking? Bill, the cat, is the most gangster specimen ever created in life. Like, I'm pretty sure every time he's reincarnated, he comes back in some form of the Terminator. Like, he's far more superior than the average human, I'll tell you that much. Maybe even your average cat. People watching, tell me in the comments If you are a fan of hand washing dishes, what kind of dish soap and sponges you prefer? I'm a sucker for a scrub mommy personally, and Original Dawn. That floats my boat. Also, another thing that's been getting on my nerves? Weirdo shit. Like, there's so many people that are just so fucking weird. Like, just don't be weird. Like, just be normal. Like, and I hate to even say normal, but like, just people just, I don't know, like making problems where there are no fucking problems, just not respecting people in the general sense. And then, like, when people call you out on the weirdness because they're not comfortable with weirdness, because who the fuck is, you want to gaslight them and act like you don't know what the fuck's going on, and they're crazy. Like, if 72 people out of 75 say that you're an asshole and you constantly just take advantage of people or just don't handle people correctly, and you've had people riding with you for a long ass time, and those people see other, I don't know, let's just say squads or crews or whatever the fuck you want to call it, they see how they move and how they're treated by the person who would be in the, maybe like in the, let's say in the forefront, that's kind of a problem. And then if they are not comfortable enough to come talk to you and tell you that, hey, I don't feel seen, I don't feel appreciated when I say I'd like to try something or I want to do something, they just, it's unheard of. Hell, like shit, like people not even being involved in like celebrations, like the planning of it, like the use of resources is, that's quite obvious. Like, you use people for their resources and opportunities and shit like that. But when it comes time for actually putting things together and like something that brings value to it, so like something that might require you to get some credit, absolutely no fucking way you're gonna indulge in that, because then that means you gotta, lend some of the credit. You're not fucking with that idea. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like those are situations where people aren't elected to positions of power. They just kind of default that way. Because let's say you start something. Let's say you start an entertainment company, and then you kind of obtain people along the way. You might be working with some of your family. You might have hired some people from the outside or whatever. But you don't really have too many people from the outside. Like, or I'm sorry, you don't really have too many people from the inside. Like, I think it's absolutely smart to know, okay, this dude's area of expertise is XYZ, so let's make him, the CEO, or, people like titles, people like fancy names. It makes people feel great. Create a fancy name and give it to the person, and always give that person credit. Like, you got an organization, it don't necessarily mean that when you walk around, you got to say, I'm the head of this, or this our organization, and I'm the only name that people know. That's crazy. That's not real life. That's not real life. Like, no. Or don't be the type of person that's always complaining about some shit and you never have anything of value to add to said situation, but you constantly complaining about the shit. Or somebody who keeps struggling with the same shit and you haven't taken the time to realize, you know what, it's probably me. Like, don't be weird. If you can't acknowledge your own fuck ups or areas where you need work, that's weird shit. Don't be weird. those of you that appreciate the filthier things in life, you know what coconut oil doubles as. Don't be afraid, people. It can be lube, I'm just saying. But personally, after I do dishes and shit like that, I really, really like to get like a good hand massage and like moisturize, because you got a lot of moisture in your hands now from your hands being in the water, and they're very clean from obviously the soap. And then you put the minerals and whatnot back in your nail beds so you don't crack your cuticles, and you keep encouraging your nails to grow by actually moisturizing them. Because if you wash your dishes and you don't moisturize your hands, you'll have cracked ass cuticles and whatnot, and that shit is not cute. Sometimes it might even sound very close to macaroni and cheese, but I ain't one to gossip, so you do what you will with that. Let's call this the after party. Let's call this the after party. So I'll shut up now and let you enjoy. All right. Until next week, people. Let's keep it clean.